What's happening, everyone? My name's Justin, I'm with the Rule Keeper Home Team, and this is our channel, Everything Jacksonville Real Estate. On our channel, we discuss anything as it pertains to real estate here in Jacksonville, which is Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau County. Now in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the market update for the Jacksonville beaches and the Jacksonville Southside area as it pertains to April 2023. I'm gonna be going over how interest rates have changed and how that's actually affected the market the last month or so. I'm also gonna be going over how supply and demand and price have changed. When I come back, you're definitely gonna have to hear what I have to say, so definitely stay tuned. Welcome back. So before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so that way you get notified when we post more content like this in the future. So as we get started, we're gonna go ahead and start off with the pending to list ratio. Now you may ask yourself, what is the pending to list ratio? Well, it's a great question, I'm here to answer that. So the pending to list ratio calculates the amount of homes that went under contract in any given month, and they divide that by the amount of homes that were on the market. So in this case, in April, we had 246 sales pending in the market, which left 389 listings still available to sell in the Jacksonville beaches and Jacksonville Southside area. This gave us a pen to list ratio of 38.7%. Now 38.7% is actually higher than it's been the last couple months, and it's about 1% higher than it was in March. This also gives you an idea that the market is still mildly active. So as we go into the summertime, this mildly active we potentially will see become even more active. So it's something to definitely take into account because the market does tend to heat up when the area heats up. When you take a closer look, you'll also see that the price point that had the most contracts pending was actually in that $400,000 to $600,000 price point. In these areas, that tends to be more of that median price point nowadays, so it's not uncommon that that's the most homes under contract. It's also not that uncommon that it was also the most homes that were available for sale, with 104. We also saw the median list price, as I was telling you, is actually $599,900. That is an uptick of almost $25,000 from just last month. Again, showing that the market is starting to heat up in these areas. Now, as we look at this graph, you're gonna notice here that the properties for sale and the contracts pending, those two lines are starting to get a little bit closer. Whereas last month, properties for sale were closer to 120 and contracts pending were a little bit over 80. This month we actually saw both of those numbers come down some, but more so the properties for sale come down further than the contracts pending. As those two numbers get closer, or those two lines get closer, what you're gonna actually see is the market's gonna be heating up further. We may start to see multiple offers again, like we saw this time last year and the year before it. You're also gonna see here that we had a total of 1,038 contracts that actually sold in the last 6 months. So from August until January, in that 6-month time frame, we actually did see pending sales, which then closed, reduce. However, in just the last couple months, we've seen a bit of an uptick of home selling, which has now gotten us back over that 1,000 threshold as far as homes that have sold in a 6-month time frame. We also saw that homes in the $200,000 to $400,000 price point were the ones that were typically the most sought after, which again is because this area is a very desirable area, which is why those price points tend to go the quickest. Now, alternatively, only 298 homes failed to sell. That is actually a lower number than in previous months, and I would not be surprised if in future videos when you come and look at them, that you'll see that number actually decrease further. And again, they can fail to sell for many different reasons. I've mentioned in previous videos as well, but ultimately sometimes it's because it may have been priced too high, or maybe the condition didn't match the price that they were asking as a seller. Could just be that it wasn't marketed properly, or that the seller chose to hold on to their house. So it could be a lot of different variable reasons. Now, what you're gonna see here is you're gonna see median days on market. And what we saw is the days on market collectively for April really didn't change much from March. So even though we saw increase in price points in April compared to March, the days on market have actually stayed relatively the same, which is good, because if the days on market start to really come down a lot, it's gonna create more of a frenzy, which for you as a buyer, if you're watching this video, is not always what you wanna hear because of what we've seen the last couple of years. Now, for you as a seller, again, nothing to worry about because your house is still selling. It's still actually selling for more than it was even just a couple months ago. But it is just taking a little bit longer than it may have been at this time last year. We also saw that in the last 6 months, the median sold price was $440,000. So whereas the median list price was $599, the median sold price was still, closer to $440. Just again, the reason for that, the homes that are selling the quickest and tend to be selling the most often are still in that $200,000 to $400,000 and lower in the $400,000 to $600,000 price ranges. Now you're also going to see here the median list to sales ratio for this area is 97.8%. Now 97.8% is definitely a good number to look into because last month we were at 97.7%. So even though it's a small increase, it's still good to look at that and understand that, relatively speaking, buyers are starting to slightly come up higher to make sellers happy and get them under contract. Now, again, we're still much better off than we were 6 months ago or 8 months ago, because even this time last year, it wasn't 97.8%. It was actually over 100% list to sell ratio or sell to list ratio. So people were actually having to offer above the list price and had to offer other terms to make a seller happy. Right now, it is a situation where you have to give the seller a bit more now than you did maybe a month ago, but you're still much better off than you were a year ago if you weren't trying to go above the asking price. We also saw that inventory in this area is actually at 2.2 months of inventory. We call that the absorption rate. In essence, it measures the amount of months it would take for us to run out of homes to sell if no new homes hit the market. And 2.2 is a very low number, and it's actually 0.3 less than it was just a month ago. Now, relatively speaking, that 2.2, we'll see how that goes in the next few months, but that is a good indicator of supply and demand because, again, it just means that there's more demand, in this case, a lot more demand than there's supply. And then these last two graphs here, what's very interesting about this is we actually did see, and again, this is all seasonality, but homes in March actually did sell for a much higher price. Average, median price point was around $480, whereas homes in April, the median price point was around $420. Most likely, the reason for that is more homes in that lower $200,000 to $400,000 price range, and homes that were in the $400,000 to $600,000 price range that were probably a little bit less in price hit the market and sold, which kind of got this number to come down a good bit. Whereas in March, it was kind of the opposite. That being said, days on market have not changed too much. In March, we actually did have over 40 days on market. We have seen that come down to probably around 35 or so days on market in April, but not a huge difference to where it would affect the market in a buyer's favor or a seller's favor yet. Lastly, love going through this graph here, and overall, all I like to go over with it is I like to just show the absorption rate in detail as we break it down to separate price points. And as you can see here, all the way up to $1 million, we're under 3 months of inventory. 3 months. That is a very heavy seller's market. And so the reason I want to bring that up is, although it's become a little more of a buyer's market in the last 6 months, it is still a seller's market overall because of the fact that there's just not enough inventory. Even though interest rates are rising, and they are rising, we're hoping to see some decreases in the next couple months, but right now they are a little bit on the rise. We're still seeing buyers deciding to make that plunge and to actually decide to go, under contract on a home in the hopes that they can get the home they want and then refinance later, or hope that their income actually comes up to support, their mortgage payment at some point and give them the comfortability they want and desire. So the reason I bring all this up is if you're a buyer right now in the market, it can be very daunting. It can be a lot of unknowns. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to me. My contact information is actually down below this video. And we can schedule a one-on-one Zoom call or just a normal call just to go over what challenges you may be facing, what questions you may have, because I would love to help answer those for you and help put you in the right direction to homeownership, whether if it's your first house, your next house, or your future house. Because again, my goal is to help you where I can, navigate the market and give you the goods and the bads. Again, we don't like to sugarcoat it. It's one of those things we like to make sure that you know and are aware of every detail that can affect you when you're buying or even selling a house. So even if you are thinking about selling, my team and I are really great at what we do. We do have a proven, repeatable system. It is backed by market research to help get you top dollar, especially in today's market. So again, down below, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information will be down below. And I would love to just discuss what you're looking to do on the sales side, what you're looking to do on the buy side, what areas you may be looking in, what price points you may be looking in, and help give you a good plan in place to help you with any of your real estate needs. So without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next video and we'll go from there.